Hey everybody, you're tuning into Mad About It. I'm your host, Becky with the good hair. That's right, it's me. Today we're gonna talk about squirting. Yay! Why are we gonna talk about squirting? Why wouldn't we talk about squirting? Why is it worse than any other subject? I think it's actually maybe the best subject that there is. We could talk about climate change, we could talk about Brexit, we could talk about things, that are happening that matter, or we could talk about squirting. I vote for squirting, yeah. So, what is squirting? Well, depending on who you ask, it's like a million different things. Some people are like, is there a female ejaculate? Some people are like, is squirting pee? Some people are like, do women have orgasms? And I'm over here like, fuck all y'all. It's plain dead obvious to see. Why are we even asking questions about stuff like this? You should just be asking your lady who's got the squirting machine. You know what I mean? So let's just go straight to the source. We're going to talk about squirting and female anatomy and where it comes from. And also, we're going to point out some obvious truths. The first obvious truth that we're going to point out here is that Becky ain't no doctor. And Becky is just a regular he-she trapped in the world. So, I squirt a bit, but my experience with this is going to be different than, the chick in my freshman year college dorm who told me a lot extensively about her squirting, which at the time I was like, man, that just sounds like piss. But now I'm like, nah, man, she's just, that's how she works. She's just a squirter. So, squirting is a lot of different things. It's, female ejaculation, yes, okay. So remember how your gender is different than your sexuality and stuff. So if you go back to being a little baby fetus, in utero, everybody starts out as a lady, and then you get your estrogen or your testosterone, and you become either more masculine or more feminine, and then a whole bunch of people end up in between, and there's all sorts of different sorts of beautiful variations. The gender is manifested in nature, and it's dope. All these different things are great. Well, okay, so everybody starts with the same shit. Everybody has the same parts, but the hormones put them in different places, basically. So if you get a lot of androgens, you get a lot of testosterone, you get a dick, it fuses together, goes outside your body, your would-be ovaries descend into testicles, when you hit puberty and stuff. Ovaries and testicles are the same shit, Clitoris and the head of a penis is the same shit, except, the different hormones make it all way different long-term. But we all start with the same parts, and then they evolve into variations on the same parts. So, sorry, I'm getting over a chest cough. I would say it's a cold, but it wasn't. I just had a bitch of a cough for no fucking reason. So I'm wheezy and I sound gross. It's part of the reason why there was a huge hiatus, but it's not even close to being the whole reason. Okay, so there's there's very little difference between male and female parts. They're just separated by the hormones that they've been exposed to for the longest. That's Becky Theory 101. So if dudes ejaculate, then women also have stuff to make that stuff with, also have stuff to make cum with. They just don't have the same setup as dudes. So instead of spraying their cum with their semen into something, women's parts, like, lubricate themselves to allow things to go into them with cum that they make for partners that they like. You know what I mean? Like, I'm trying to, like, animal kingdom the shit out of this as much as I can. But, you understand? Like, it's like, so, like, squirting is, first of all, not a fucking myth. Holy shit. If you think squirting is a myth, like, I would buy you a beer, but I just want to smack you in the face, you know? So, squirting's not a myth, it's real. It's not piss, it's real cum. And, spoiler alert, everybody's cum has piss in it. Everybody, you know, like, our genitals, again, spoiler alert, are near our pee-pees, and, where we go boinky boinky, we also piss, you know, so everybody's shit has piss and shit, everybody's piss and shit. You know, we are all big old spit piss shit machines. It's fucking terrible. You know? Like, if you're gross about it, just be asexual, mind your own business. It's totally a legitimate option. Shout out to any and all asexual fans. I feel like I don't have any, but sorry, not sorry. It's because y'all are just, you know, chilling peacefully. Speak out. You know, if you're asexual, holla at me. Go ahead and spam me on my Facebook page and shit. I already have a couple that do that. You know, I tell you, the asexuals, they're the ones that are really, I mean, I get it though, our society definitely values romantic relationships more than platonic relationships, but, like, holy shit, guys, you know. You ever think for a second maybe the whole world's just, like, super fucked up, you know? There's just, like, a lot of other things going on, you know? Okay. Anyway, alright. So, back to squirting. I've been, like, so sick. And, yeah. It's, like, not enough honey and green tea and lemon in the world. Okay. So, female ejaculation. Let's get down to it. According to ye old Wikipedia, in the 16th to 18th century, there were Dutch physicians who were like, there are glands that make cum in women. Yeah. So people have been noticing this shit since the 16th century. I'm just gonna put that out there. So it's, you know, and not only that, the only thing that anybody's ever mentioned about whether or not it's a real thing is in, like, the 50s. Fucking the 50s, I tell you. So I've been working on the 60s music series as well. Holy shit. Pronouns, though. We go from, like, you know, 20s to 40s, like, little to no specific pronouns, very vague pronoun usage. You know, like, 50s, starting to see some more pronouns. 60s, holy shit, though. It's like, every other word is a pronoun. Every other word is a specific pronoun. I think it's just it's like the teeny bop music, you know what I mean? It's like the Elvis and the Leslie Gore and all the shit, and they're all, like, singing about the he loves, she loves, bebop bop, you know? It's like, it's nuts. Anyway. So, it isn't until, you know, society goes gender crazy that, we even really start to question whether or not women have orgasms or that women squirt. So, like, they observe that, there's, like, a whole bunch of weird shit about neurasthenia. There's a whole bunch of turn of the century bullshit. I just don't even want to talk about it. It just makes me sad, you know? Let's, like, there's just so much bad shit. So, yeah. Basically, they start, figuring out that there are some glands around the urethra near the vagina. Here we go. So, what's going on? So we've got the clitoris up top here. We got the vagina hole, you know what I mean? Like the opening. And then like right above that is the urethra. That's where pee-pee comes out. And then like a little below that, over to the side, is one of the Skene's glands. And then below the vagina down there is the Bartholin's glands. And like, I don't want to be gross about it, but I've legit, you can see this shit on yourself. Like, you can do this. You can go down there with a mirror. You can see this shit on yourself. Like, just do it. It's definitely time well spent. So yeah. So the Skene's glands, the Bartholin's glands, these things help lubricate your juju, you know what I mean? So these are like super hella good. And your urethra is where pee-pee comes out, but like some ladies, they'll squirt out of their urethra. Some ladies don't squirt out of the urethra. I'm gonna go ahead and say that like most all women that are sexually aroused are gonna be producing fluids from their Bartholin's and their Skene's glands. So like whether you're a urethra squirter or not, like, so here's my theory. This is pure Becky bullshit. Again, not a doctor. My theory is that some people are urethra squirters and some people aren't. That's pretty much the root of the debate here. Because we got the, is it squirting because it's like theatrical and enormous and there's like a massive wave of like just like porn water, you know? Or is it alright, so more Becky theory, here we go. So guys ejaculate and their cum mostly has to do with like how hydrated they are and just straight up like how much they cum, period. There like doesn't seem to be a way for you to really like cum more or cum less or something other than like being more or less hydrated or I don't know, being a magician. That's the thing. So here's the deal. Like a lot of the stuff that people see in pornography that they like want to emulate or like think is hot is totally like theatrics, pure like cinematography. You know what I mean? Like ask Shine Louise about it. She knows. She knows that that's like the whole appeal of Crash Pad is that if you go to Crash Pad and you see a dick come, it's like that dick's come. You know what I mean? Like that dick came. And there's not like a secret like cutaway shot where they like have like a pump with just like some like mayonnaise that's just like spraying out of like a hose and they say that it's a dick coming. You know what I mean? Like it's like, you know, I don't think they actually use mayonnaise, but some of the shit that I've seen in porn, I'm like, I think that's Miracle Whip, you know? Nowadays Miracle Whip has paprika in it. They don't like bleach it anymore. They used to like Miracle Whip used to be white and now Miracle Whip is like paprika color. And I'm like, cool, like I like this. This is natural, you know. I like that this is, but it's still fucking Miracle Whip. You know, it's not fucking natural. They just, you know, but like it's more just like it should, instead of saying like Miracle Whip like new natural recipe, it should say Miracle Whip, we used to bleach this. You know, like we used to bleach this for your taste. We as a society decided that paprika was too spicy and too colorful. We needed to bleach it. But yeah, okay. I'm gonna cut this part out. This is dumb. I'm so wheezy. Okay. So, the same that guys come only a certain amount because they're fucking natural biological penises that only do certain natural biological things and they are not theatrical cinematography magical magician things. There's not like sleight of hand going on. You know what I mean? Yeah, and like obviously there are guys that come a ton. You know, like obviously there are guys that have lots of cum. I get it. You know, and those guys are probably in porn. You know, and they're like superstars. You know, they're like good at what they do. So that's, you know, and I'm happy for them. Good for them. But the expectation of like somehow being able to produce more or less cum is totally ridiculous. And you shouldn't feel that you should have to do that. The same exact rule applies to women, because women have the same fucking shit that's just in different parts with different hormones, you know what I mean? So like women still come and they still make cum with their bodies. It just comes out differently than the guys do. So when chicks get really horny, they get like pre-cum just the same, except it's in their lady parts, and it's out of your Skene's glands and your Bartholin's glands, and I don't know, man, they're down there, and they make the ookie gookie, you know, and it's the good stuff. It's like the best kind of lube there is, and I'm a little biased, but like the other thing is like, you know, just a PSA, olive oil or coconut oil are really good. So like you don't, you know, I'm not saying you need to, you know, it's not like you're like less of a woman somehow if you don't have your own cum. I'm just pointing out that here's the deal. When I was researching for this, the vast majority of stuff I found was like, I am a woman who's ashamed of my squirting. I was like ashamed of your squirt. They were like, how do you stop? There are people that have had surgery to squirt less. I don't want to live in this world though. Like I don't understand. Can you imagine if you met a guy friend who was like, if you had a guy friend who was like, oh yeah, man, I'm having surgery next week. And you're like, oh man, I'm so sorry. What's your surgery for? Like, are you okay? And he's like, yeah, man, I come so fucking much. I come so much. I gotta cut my balls off. Otherwise, I come so much. There's just so much jizz. I can't. I mean, you know, I drown everybody I'm near. You know, like if I masturbate, it's like, you know, somebody like has to call the plumber because the world is drowning in cum. Like I just, you know, nobody in their right mind would tell a guy that he comes too much. Never. Women are I just, you know, if you're out there and you had surgery because you're squirting, like, please call me, because I just want to tell you something that nobody else seems to be willing to tell you, and that's that you didn't need to do that. And I hope you have a lot of coconut oil now, because just Jesus fucking Christ, you know. Hopefully my theory is right, and there's like more than one place that this is coming out of. So like it makes sense, you know, like when your genitals are like fusing together, that all this stuff would be just kind of like all together for dudes, but for ladies it's like kind of just like spread out around the vagina. You know, I just it's hard for me to focus when I'm looking at this diagram. You know, so yeah, I mean, God help whoever had surgery about this. It's a non-problem. It's the best non-problem you can have, squirting. So that's where I'm going with this. I found a bunch of places that were like, oh God, what do I do about my squirting? What do you do about your squirting? You fucking celebrate. That's what you do. Fuck the shit out of everything is what you do. Can you, like, it's the exact same thing as if a guy comes a ton. Like, if a guy has a ton of jizz, does he feel bad about himself? I don't think so. I don't think he's like, oh no, I'm all jizz and no. I don't know. I don't even know, like, what is that? What is the saying for that? There is none, because Jesus Christ. So, women that get really, really wet, women that come a lot, women that squirt all over the fucking place, bravo, you are heroes. You are goddesses among us. Give me your number. So, yeah, if you're tuning into this podcast because you feel guilt and shame about your squirting, I just want to tell you that, you know, I'm sorry, but you have have something to brag about, and I'm a little jealous, and I find it completely ridiculous, you know. Like, I only squirt when I'm coming, like, as hard as I fucking can. That's, like, to me, squirting is like, shit, man. Like, that's a good night. You had a real good time. Squirting happened. So, like, you know, if you're a lady who's squirting all the time, I guess, you know, I don't know. So here we go. Here we go back to the freshman year. So my freshman year of college, was friends with a really good person. Started dating this guy. He's way older than her. We were like, hey, this guy's a creepy pervert. He's using you for sex. And she was like, yeah, but the sex is really good, so it's fine. And I was just like, all right, that's fine, dope. Like, you know, enjoy yourself. And she was like, yeah, I just like squirt and squirt and squirt. And I'm like, holy shit, you're just squirting all the time. I was like, you know, for me, squirting is like, holy shit, you know. Like, at that time, I had not squirted. And I was like, I don't even understand. Like, that seems like, you know, like a magic trick, you know. Like, are you sure it's not just like pee? She was like, no, yeah, I'm squirting all over the place. And I was like, fuck, man. She had to, like, put down towels and stuff because she's just coming all over the place. I was like, this is, like, the best non-problem. You know, that's, like, the hottest thing I've ever imagined. You know, just, like, you know. And fun fact, it is not pee any more or less than jizz is. So, you know, if you're repulsed by jizz, then you're probably going to be less repulsed. I just kind of feel like it's like a watered down version, you know. I think it's a lot less pungent, personally. But I just, you know, I'm so biased. I just like don't give a shit. Anyway, it's getting gross. Okay, so yeah, I mean, it was gonna be gross. So it's a fucking squirting episode. Like, what did you expect? Was it gonna be like the, you know, the just not gross? Like, we're talking about, you know, we're talking about squirting. It's slippery when wet down here. Okay. What even is the music gonna be for this? Like, I think it's gonna end up being just whatever's stuck in my head, like it always fucking is, but I can't even begin to anticipate what the soundtrack to this is. Alright. So, some female ejaculate has this, like, prosthetic antigen or something. Yes, prosthetic specific antigen. Prostatic. So, it's like, you know, similar to cum, like a lot. You know, it's very similar to cum. So my friend that squirted a lot, that sprayed everywhere, she was like, it feels good, but it's not like an orgasm every time. And here's the deal, like, this is kind of like, you know, is it orgasm or is it arousal? You know, is squirting itself, you know, an arrival? I'm not certain. I think it's a response to stimulus. I'm not sure if it's like necessarily a climax for everybody. I think that some people might not squirt often or easily, and those people might squirt when they do climax. But I think that there are some people that squirt often and squirt easily, and they do not need to climax in order to squirt, and they're just kind of squirting down there. You know, and there are other people that have dryness and, you know, and all sorts of other sort of fluid related problems, the same way that there are some guys that come a ton and there's some guys that come very little or not at all. You gotta, like, you know, go to your different doctors. Becky's not a doctor. www.beckysnotadoctor.com. That's what this is. So, that being said, you know, is it piss? No, and not any more than anything else is. Is it got, like, sperm in it? Nope, obviously not. Does it have eggs in it? Nope. That's what periods are. That's what, when you menstruate, then you get the one egg that comes down from the egg sac, and then it attaches to the uterine lining, and then the uterine lining swells up and engorges with blood and prepares for pregnancy, and then the egg that is not impregnated is then discarded with the lining. And then you have God's punishment / menstruation. Yeah. Nope, nothing like that. Squirting's different. Squirting's when you're getting, pickle tickled, and then you go, and it's sometimes it's when you're happy, and sometimes it's when you come, sometimes it's when you're just how you're built. So if you squirt a lot and you're feeling weird about it, high five. Keep up the good work. Keep squirting. Put down some towels. Keep on keeping on. If your boyfriend shames you about your squirting, go ahead and do me a favor, kick him in the face. If you can't squirt, my suggestion to you, drink a lot of water. Yeah, I mean, it's obviously we're not doing piss play, but we are, gotta stay hydrated. You gotta come, you gotta be slicker down there. Something that helps me, I use a little bit of lube, a little bit of coconut, a little bit of olive oil, I don't recommend, butter. It's horrible. Makes you smell fucking, oh god, it's bad. And it's such a long story, though. It involves a lot of different embarrassing things. It was not just plain butter. I did not just use plain butter. It was obviously in a legal state, in a legal situation with legal sources. It was legally obtained can of butter. But butter smells like shit on your pussy. I hate it. Don't. 0 out of 5 stars. Butter as lube. So use a little bit of lube. To me, if you want those glands around there to work, to juice, you gotta juice them. You gotta get down there, you gotta massage. And you gotta be purposeful and, considerate and careful down there. And it's just great to do it to yourself. This is a great masturbation sort of thing. You don't need anybody to help you squirt. I feel like there's an expectation for I don't know. Personally, I put it on myself. If I'm topping somebody, it's like I definitely, that's a goal. But it's not like, there's no expectation for that, of course. I'm just saying, wouldn't it be nice if this happened, So, it's a personal goal. I would never articulate, I feel weird. Even now, I feel weird even just saying that. It's too much of an expectation to put on anybody. But that's usually, a personal goal that I'm going for. And, whether or not it happens is not the end of the deal. But what I'm gonna try to do is I'm gonna do the anterior. What is it? There's so many different ways that they talk about the fucking G-spot nowadays. They talk about the G-spot in a million different ways. Here's the deal. Every lady's different. We're gonna have a whole inside bits episode separate from all this. We're gonna have a whole inside bits episode, but if you want to squirt, you've gotta be in there. In my experience, it's not something that's gonna happen purely by going down on somebody. It's not something that's necessarily gonna happen just by masturbating your clitoris. You're gonna have to massage the inside of you a bit. You're gonna have to get. So I don't know. It's just tough because I don't know. It just depends. In my experience, I'm just gonna go ahead and overshare because that's what we do here. It changes during the time of your month. My insides feel different at different stages of my period. like my menstrual cycle, not like my period. Like obviously I'm not like, nobody's, like this is, I feel like things are being taken out of hand here. But my insides feel different at different times of the month. Sometimes the part that's near like my butt feels better. Sometimes the part that's near my belly button feels better. Sometimes the back feels better. Sometimes the front feels better. Sometimes the side feels best. You know what I mean? Like, and I can't help but feel like it's that there's some sort of like internal prostate that just like moves around with my fucking hormone cycles. That's like, this is, pure Becky theory here. But, I have a bit of success with my girlfriend, and she seems to have the same sort of deal. She's gonna be so pissed that I'm saying this, but it seems to, kind of move around, and it's a good thing, it's a bad thing, it's just a thing. I think that the G-spot is, not a myth. Again, we're myth busting here on Mad About It today. It's Mythbusters episode edition. The G-spot is not a myth, and I think it's the prostate. I think it's the same, and I think they're very similar, and I think that each woman is different, and where she is going to get the best access to that is going to have to do with her, and it's going to have to do with the time, and it's going to have to do with the day and the person and the method and all sorts of different variables, like to give any sort of tutorial about it would just be nonsense, just be fucking dumb. I would say, stimulate the G-spot, like where? Well, it just depends. Sometimes it's up, sometimes it's down, sometimes it's all around. And I'd say it also depending. I definitely, I bet you can squirt from just clitoris stuff. I 100% bet you can. I bet you have to know how to like angle yourself to even know if it's happening, because otherwise it just kind of trickles. Gosh, I told you it was going to be a gross episode. Did I say that? Did I have any sort of warning for this? Jesus Christ. It says explicit and stuff, right? Because, like, I assume that if you're listening to this, you should know who I am, and that you should know what's going on, and you should know what to expect. If you're some teenager and listening to this and stuff, I guess I'm better than porn. But I don't know what to say to you. Turn it off. Okay. So I think that's like almost it. So if everybody squirts a little bit or none at all, sometimes all the time in copious amounts. Use towels, don't use any, figure it out. Masturbate, find your own inside good bits. There's a whole fucking wonderland in there, ladies. Like, if you really owe it to yourself. Like, you need to know how you work in order for any of it to go well. And you need to be able to show somebody how you work. And you also need to learn enough about yourself to be able to use somebody else for your own pleasure. It's not like, I feel like, a lot of what I hear in like sex advice stuff is like, oh, communication, blah, blah, blah. And like, I have a whole episode where I'm like, communication. So like, yeah, that's really important. But honestly, like, communication, there's a lot of ways to communicate that have nothing to do with using words, everything to do with using your body. And if you know how to communicate with your body, you will be able to communicate your body with someone else's body, like, period. So a lot of it is up to you, and I think that there is no gender for this. I think a lot of women are kind of in their heads about their bodies. And but now, you know, a lot of guys are too, so it's like kind of irrelevant, but it seems like it affects women the most. It seems like women are not taught to prioritize their sexual desires, you know. It's always, and there's, if anything, you know, being a woman that prioritizes man's desires over their own is like a fetishized sort of thing, you know. So, you know, you can just not do that, and like most guys don't want that. Most guys are like, you know, most guys just want to have sex. So like, you know, if you empower yourself, and if you can masturbate, and if you can make yourself squirt, you will be able to squirt with somebody else. But yeah, I think that, you know, certainly, you know, if I were to like ask myself, and when I was like 15, like, hey little Becky, do you wanna listen to something about squirting? I'd be like, oh gosh, yeah, tell me the trick that I need to learn, so when I'm fucking good, you know what I mean? Like some nonsense bullshit. There is no trick. You have to learn yourself. You have to learn your body, and you have to figure out what feels good. And you have to be able to pay attention. And you gotta use some fucking lube. Jesus Christ. Like, why don't they have, like, Crash Pad is like the only place in the world where you see people put lube, you know what I mean? Again, with the fucking, it's just superior, you know? I'm not even really truly going for anything with this. It's just better than the other stuff. Like, if you want to talk about actually having sex and actually fucking, there's pretty much no other place to reference. There's some other places, but they're not as cool. Alright. So, yeah, go squirt one out for me, I guess. I look forward to hearing some sort of response for this episode. Or none at all. I just don't care. You know what I mean? Like, I'm over here just, like, making myself squirt. And if anybody else wants to learn how to make themselves squirt, then more power to you. And if you don't want to, it's your loss. Alright, change the sheets for me. Every, you know, like once a month at least. Oh my goodness. Oh yeah. If this is happening a lot, you need to change the sheets pretty regularly. It's not like no, you know, and that's, or just, you know, go to a hotel. You know, if you're planning on a special evening, just, you know, make it somebody else's problem. Alright, ta-ta. Mwah, mwah.